Hello everyone, and welcome to another video from the Chess Guy. Today I'm going to be sharing you my favourite opening, which starts off with d4. Now before I start this video, make sure to subscribe and like this video, or you'll lose your next 5 games. Trust me, you don't want to risk it. So my favourite opening starts off with d4, which is a queen's pawn opening. A lot of players might play e4 and then black responds with e5. But in this video, we're going to focus on d4. Now, there are a lot of variations, such as knight f6 or knight c6, which isn't a very good move, or something like g6. Now, in this position, the main lines is d5. Now, in this position, you would want to play c4, which is the Queen's Gambit, if many of you didn't know. The main lines in this opening is e6. Now, if you would like to know why black couldn't just take the pawn, because if the pawn just takes, you would play e3. Now, the bishop is attacking on this pawn. And as you can see, it is very important to have control of the center in the middle game and the opening. And as you can see, we have given up a pawn, so the black's d pawn could move out of the center. So in the center we have 2 pawns and black has 1 pawn, and that's going to be very good in the opening. Now, you might be thinking that black could just play b5, but then you could just play a4. If black plays a move such as a6, you take the pawn, then after the pawn takes, they probably won't, but then you would just take the rook. So that's not good for black. Another variation is a total blunder, which is c6. Then you take the pawn, and mostly black would take. Then you play queen f3, bam. As you can see, it's attacking the rook, and black has no way to protect it instead of giving up a piece, like the knight going there, and after that, you'll be a knight up, so you'll probably win the game. Now, instead of this, if the pawn takes, you should recapture the pawn. Sorry, you need to recapture the pawn. Then you just take the bishop. Sorry, you take the pawn. Now you've got a really nice active bishop here, attacking on this. And you would really love to play this move, as it's threatening to take this pawn and to take this rook. So that's an aggressive move. Now after that, you would either want to take that pawn with the rook, and then you'll be even, but black's pieces aren't developed at all, so you'll be winning, and you've got the majority pawns in the center, so that's very helpful. Now, the other variations are d5, c4, e6. That is one of the main lines, and it's called the Queen's Gambit declined. And you should, if you play the Queen's Gambit, you should really know this. Then you would like to play knight c3. Now, developing a piece and putting pressure on that pawn. After black plays the main line, knight f6, you would like to play bishop g5. Now putting a pin. If black plays a move such as h6, trying to scare the bishop away, you play bishop h4, keeping the pin. And if the pawn goes to g5, then just retreat back to there. And you might want to play a move such as that later on in the game to attack on this. For example, if black plays that afterwards, then you can play that. So yeah. Let's say black plays the main lines, which is bishop e7. Then you play knight f3, which is again developing another knight. Then black castles. If they play another move such as that, I recommend taking the knight. So black castles. Then you play e3. That's when black plays knight b d7. Whatever you do, if you're black in this position, do not play that because it might cause a lot of problems in the middle game. So you don't want to play that. Now the main lines is knight b d7. And this position, instead of moving the bishop, you'd want to take the pawn. If they play a move such as that, you just take with the knight. So everything will be fine. The main lines is e takes d5. Now you play bishop d3, which is now a very powerful bishop, as you can see. It's attacking and like defending all these squares. Now that's when usually black plays h6, sorry. Then I'd recommend taking the knight. And then after black retakes with the bishop, you castle. And now it's a drawing position. White might be slightly better because of the pawns, the center pawns. You might want to play e4 after. And then if black doesn't take and plays a move such as c6, you advance to that. So yeah, this is part 1 of the series. So make sure to subscribe to stay tuned for the next series. And bye.